Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be doing a flip through of my 2023 faith planner. I'll be showing you guys all of my after the pen spreads that I completed in 2023. So if that sounds good, let's jump in. Quickly, I'm going to go over the overlay in my January month, and then once we get into February, I'm just going to be flipping pages and try not to be too wordy this year on my annual flip through. I know we're all busy, so let me just start by saying I have moved the planner onto some archive discs. I use these 1-inch plastic clear discs for my archiving, so I've already moved over all the pages into that. But this is the cover that I did use throughout 2023 for my faith planner. I'll be replacing this out too eventually, but for now, we'll just start with that. I'm also using inserts from my Etsy shop for the entire year. You'll see the combined quadrant layout planner from my shop, as well as a faith overview layout, which is an add-on that I added. But that's pretty much all that I used for my faith planner. I didn't change it up at all in 2023. So here's the first spread. It's a monthly spread. And so each month you'll see the monthly, which I've been using for my takeaway after I do my daily Bible reading. I track the verses that I read, as well as do a quick something like something to take away from the reading that I can apply to my life. So all the months are the same. That won't change, and you'll just see the different decor and how they turned out each month. They're also all themed in the same way throughout each month, so I set up all the pages ahead of time in the same theme, so I don't have to worry about designing pages each week. So this was the first theme, and that was the monthly. Here we have the faith overview I mentioned before. This is in my shop. You can buy it and then just add it onto your planner wherever it fits in. I decided to do it after my monthly this year because I had another planner that was set up in a similar fashion. And so all of my planners got a monthly overview page like this that really helped with my flow. So this is the overview, and what I track here are my 4 habits that go along with my faith planning, including my morning prayer, my daily reading, the summary or the takeaway that's on the monthly, and then the lettering for the day, which you'll see in a second. I also keep a prayer list here that I pray on during my morning prayer. I have a monthly verse that I letter in, usually tying somehow to the overall theme, which is, again, you'll see that throughout the entire year. And then at the bottom, there are these currently questions that come with the faith overview. And here I just fill this in as the month goes through, as I feel the need to add things in, and then usually by the end of the month it's all filled out. So that's the faith overview. Then we have the weeklies, which are the quadrant layout from my shop. I use this to letter in a verse each day, which I get out of an app called YouVersion Bible app. That's where I get the verse of the day, as well as my daily reading schedule as I go through the entire Bible once a year. So that's where I grab that. So I just do it all in one place with that app on my phone. So for the first week, I've tied in a couple of pens. I use a Fudenosuke brush pen in a hard tip for the black brush lettering. Then I'll usually add in some other kind of brush marker or highlighter to match up with the theme colors. Sometimes 2, sometimes 1, you'll see, depending on the theme. Sometimes I'll do each week in its own color. So this was how the first week turned out. I do have a lettering series if you want to know more about how I approach my daily Bible lettering. Do check out that series. It goes into detail about how you can kind of mix and match your styles and figure out how to make things interesting on your own lettering journey. So as you can see, I had another color on this week. This one was light blue. And I found that the medium toned colors work best. The lighter colors aren't really very good for lettering, And the darker colors tend to be a little bit too dark and close to the black, so it's hard to differentiate them from each other. So the light color is nice in some instances, but for the most part, the medium tones tend to be the best to work with. And here is the next week. I went back to that green, I think. Yeah. So those were the two colors of the month. And this is how it turned out. And then the next week, and then on the back page, the notes page, I tried to utilize this page throughout the year. I really struggled, though, to use it. I think I may have used it once or twice, but that was it. This year, I've got a good plan that I'll be trying to utilize this page a bit more. But for 2023, it's pretty much just themed out and then left blank. So that was January. Nice, pretty winter theme, which I really loved. For February, we went a little bit brighter with some florals and some pink and green tones, which was just really lovely. A lot of highlights there too with the gold. And then here's my overview for the month. Again, similar things, just in a different theme. For the colors, I really struggled to get the right color scheme for the pens to use in my lettering. These were not my favorite. I wish I would have chose some other colors, but they were as close as I had at the moment to match up with the theme. So I went ahead with them, tried to do the best I could to keep everything feeling like one cohesive color scheme. And I also have certain weeks and certain days where I feel like I do really well. And then there's other weeks where I feel like I could do better, like it's never super consistent as far as like week after week. It looks great. Like usually there's a few in there that don't look that good. And then we have the back page on that again, empty but decorated. So now we're going to go ahead into March. Ooh, March was a good one. I really liked this theme. I used some mixed media and some ink to create this little cluster. You can check out any of the Plan With Me's on my Faith playlist if you want to see how I did any of these individual themes, and the materials I used will be linked down below in the description of those videos. So this was March, and here is the overview page. I think these are the two colors of the month, so we'll be pulling those in for the lettering. Here I decided to alternate the colors on 1 week, which was nice. Gave it a little bit of variety. In the second week here, each week we'll have this week box decorated, and then I leave the rest blank so I can do the lettering with, no restrictions. Each of the spreads will have a similar thing with the themed out this week area. And I just mixed and matched those colors throughout the month. Sometimes I doodle, sometimes I emphasize certain words. I do like to mix it up. And then this page here is kind of, again, left blank. Okay, we're on to April. April was a good one. I did some butterflies with some gold splatter, just to kind of add a little bit of something, a little texture to it, and I think it really turned out great. Very spring-like, kind of getting out of the winter vibes. And then again, the lettering, I did struggle to match up a good darker color for this theme. I think the yellow that I picked was a nice matchup, but the orange was a little too orange, I felt. It did look good with certain stickers, like if it had a good strong orange in the butterflies, it did help kind of bring it in a little bit better on certain weekly sticker clusters. And then we have the next week. And I think this is the final week of the month. And this was the 1 week, I think, or the 1 month that I did actually try to use it. And I set it aside for gratitude. I'm just going to erase this. I see there's like a pencil mark. Or maybe it's not pencil. Maybe that's why it didn't erase. Anyway, so yeah, I tried to write in gratitude throughout the month. That kind of worked, but yeah, maybe I'll try again this year. So now we're into May. And then in May, I pulled out these feathers and did a kind of darker theme for a May color scheme. I alternate between that blue and then this like maroon red. Had a couple of highlighters that I could use for the colors, but they were a little hard to letter with. So you'll see the lettering suffers a bit in some of these pages. But for the most part, the color scheme was really cool. And I decided to alternate, like I said, the red and the blue each week. And the blue again. And then back to the red. And then here I added questions for further study. I was really trying to work this in. Got a couple questions in there, but honestly, that was the last I saw of it. So didn't quite work out. So now we're into June, and June was a really pretty theme. I really liked how this one turned out. The colors on this one were like kind of added into these paper stickers so that I could, color the florals to match up with the rest of the decor. And then I went with these like soft, muted tones that really worked out. And then here is the overview. And then I did theme this one out each week with the individual colors. So we started with this really pretty blue-gray, and then the softer yellow. This, peachy one. This one wasn't quite the match I wanted it to be. It was a little bit darker than I had hoped, but the other ones were pretty good. And again, I think I was working with highlighters this month, so some of the lettering could be better. And then the back page, again, unused. So now we're into July. And for July, this one was kind of a plant, succulent theme with some softer colors. I went with more of the teal and the peach. And this one turned out pretty good. It was a busy month for me, so there was a couple of days that I missed doing my summary or my takeaway for the day. And then here's the overview pages. And then I alternated, I think, throughout the entire month with the peach and the teal. Again, the pens were a little bit bolder than the colors of the core. So not my first choice, but the closest I could really get without being too unusable or unseeable. I did miss a couple of days of lettering. Again, I said this was a really busy month, so I decided to let those ones go, even though sometimes I'll go back and fill them in. Then we have this week. And then finally, the back page. So we're on to August. And for August, I got creative with some vintage stickers. I did more of a kind of collage-y theme on this one. Again, missed a couple days, but that's okay. This one has a lot of these clusters of vintage items. Just fun to put together. And I think I went with that soft blue and kind of like a burnt orange tone. So here's the first week. and I alternated the colors on this one. We got the burnt orange here on the next week. Pretty sure I was using mild liners this month. And then I missed a day on this week, but the rest turned out pretty good. Another burnt orange spread. I think I end here on the softer blue. Back page decorated, unused. Now for September. For September's theme, I ended up doing a Fruits of the Spirit idea, and really I feel like this one came together pretty well. Have the monthly here, and then for the overview, you can kind of see doing clusters with each in its own fruit and color scheme. So I had a few more colors on this one, but definitely themed it out with the Fruit of the Spirit throughout the whole month. So each one kind of tied in. So I started off with the orange. Orange was a little bit bright, but still pretty close, so I think it worked out. And then I missed a day here, but had the red tied in with the red apples. And then we had I think those are pears, so I was thinking match up the pear of green. Did my best to match up these markers. And then I think that's a fig. I've never actually had a fig, but I think that's what that is. So I went with the purple tone. And then the back page. All right, we're on to October. For October, we went with these soft fall florals. And this one was another good one, kind of elegant, peachy tones. Mix of kind of burnt yellows and peaches. Kind of bringing in pumpkin colors too, I see. This one, I tied in those two colors and alternated them throughout the week. Here's the next week. Another week here. And this is the last one for the month. And now we're on to November. For some reason, I thought it would be kind of cool to color the name on this one and maybe go back and do the rest, but I don't like that. So it only happened on this 1 month. Ooh, but this one was good too. I did some color blending on this theme and did more like a woodland. Did some stamping and really got creative, got some textures, hand drawn in textures. So this one I was really excited to be in. And this was how the overview turned out. We've got the weekly, which I think I used the same pen throughout the entire month to tie it all together. So just one color in black. And next week, and then the back page. All right, you guys, we're into the final month of the year. We've got December. And for December, I did more of a classic, traditional holiday theme, with lots of red and gold. Added in gold quotes too. And then I kind of think I stuck with this green and red as the tones. So yeah, I alternated the green and red, traditional Christmas colors throughout. See how these weeks turned out. The red was really hard to cover if I made mistakes, or and it easily would seep through the paper, so I had to be really careful not to draw too heavy with the red. Green was fine, but that red was strong. And I'm pretty sure I used Tombow markers this month. And that's it, you guys. The end of 2023, all in my faith planner. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch or have any questions about those setups. And then think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.